Mama na say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there osia dem yopo.
Eti for higher PENDREAM TV mpacho say na your first time and subscribe to channel no fa sabo adomane so say the video bi ato a wo be first person na we hwe. Wo hwe video ni we pe send voice note man e was 0277128777 0277128777 e be bo akere Ghana fo nyina. Eti for yenko hwe na video number.
Including His Excellency the President to put his foot down. Because if we all make rules and we decide that the rules will not be enforced, the rules are for the benefit of the public and the candidates, and yet on the ground they will not be enforced, force is applied, impunity is applied, and nobody is able to do anything about it, then the result is sharp.
Well, but some can say that, your request is a bit far-fetched. The matter could be easily resolved. Why?
In what way would the matter be resolved? If the ballots that were showed have gone into the box, how would the matter be resolved? The ballots that are being showed have been put in the box. How would the matter be resolved? The rules say that any ballot that is showed is invalid. That is what the rules say. Any ballot that is shown is invalid. So if you are voting systematically and showing it systematically, and the looking on, an agent is assaulted for protesting, then it's grounds enough to reject the entire result.
Is it not that you foreseen that that's why they have
talk about it? There is nothing like defeat in this. It is a selection, it's a mere selection. We are enforcing the rules, margin of what they
Thank you for the
There is no victory when you select 5 people. Where is the victory? You are selecting 5 people, we are talking victory. Those who need it to demonstrate their emptiness are the ones who are pursuing it. Those who need it to demonstrate emptiness are the ones who are pursuing it. There is nothing about victory in this. What it is that the party, the true election, there's only one true election, November 4th. But to begin to assault agents at this time and to begin to flout the rules of impunity means that the president, His Excellency, the party leadership, like a faction. Ought to be well. The agent is in hospital. He's reported to the police. And he's been assaulted. He's in the hospital in the northeast. The reports will come out. He's gone to the police. The police have given the hospital form, and the statement to the police will be made public in due time. We have reported.
Why you picked to call the Vice President?
Yes, because they are doing it on his behalf. It is his vote that they are showing. They are not showing Alan Tremati's vote. It is the Vice President's vote they are showing to confirm that he voted for him.
I said the party has not acted. Are you citing for security?
I am saying that the rules are being infringed with impunity. And when our agent, who is supposed to protect our interests, protested, he was assaulted. That's what I'm saying. And I'm saying that means that the vote in the northeast has been contaminated. And that vote that has been contaminated. Yes, we are filing everything. We are doing everything. We are bringing it to your public notice that the Trematin team will move for invalidation of the entire northeast regional results. Thank you very much. That's
Well, interesting developments here. You just heard the spokesperson for the Allen campaign, that's Agyapong, was complaining about some developments in the northeast where we're told that the delegates there vote and then they show who they voted for, which is against the rules of the game. And so they're asking the special presidential electoral committee to actually delete or to cancel all of that because those votes are contaminated. Indeed, he claims that when their agents protested, they were beaten to pulp. That's what Agyapong has been telling the press. We're also told that Honorable Agyapong has actually placed a personal phone call to the Vice President, and he's told him some really harsh words. Let's listen to what Agyapong has been telling the Vice President.
Bawumia, I'm telling you, don't go to opposition. I'm going to opposition. Bawumia, I'm telling you, don't go to opposition. I'm going to opposition. Bawumia, I'm telling you, don't go Bawumia, I'm telling you, don't go position. I'm going to position. Bawumia, I'm telling you, don't go position. I'm going to position.
Whoa, 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 whoa. But this looks like a movie, doesn't it? Agyapong. What? We don't know why he's mentioned the vice president's name. And yes, we'll get a reporter and tell us exactly what happened. But just heard it. He says Bawumia should talk to his boss. I don't know what he means by that. And
well, he said
if he wants the party to go to opposition, he should let him know or something. I don't know. But
the party will go to opposition if you want the party.
But what do you make of this scene? Sorry for distracting, but briefly, what do you make of this scene before you go? Or Mr. Christian, do you want to comment on this?
I'm very sad because there's a tendency coming in the NPP when we go for our internal elections.
Right.
And the same things that we complained against in general elections. Writing of the stolen verdict.
Right.
And other harassment at polling stations. I remember election 2000, what they call it, communal battles. Hands was slashed with a knife, and all these things. Once you identify yourself as an MPP in certain what they call communities in your constituency, you could be lynched.
And what happened in 2012?
And so you see, we are having a situation where people are violating the protocol, election protocol. You know what? We first saw Ashanti region. Now, there was no violence because probably the pro-Alan group is very strong there. Now the Northeast, we hear that an agent who has got the right to protested and he has been beaten. Beaten up. You see? So, if let's say Ashanti region also decide that anybody they perceive to be Bawumia, they want the person to vote, it will be chaotic. You see, the MPP now, excuse me to say, our national executives are not strong enough to put their foot down on some of these things.
All right, so let's get an explanation for our reporter so that it would answer the question that Anaya asked earlier about what may have caused Agyapong to react the way he did. As Kwesi, we saw Ken obviously very furious, very angry and upset about something. What's happening?
Yes, Moro. So what actually happened there was that we just saw the Honorable Kennedy on Agyapong coming from the direction of the actual voting center to where his vehicle was being parked. And then we heard him speaking to someone I do not know on phone. But what I gathered is that he was taking signals that his agents at some places were being intimidated. And so he was sending cautions to the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and then the entire DP to be very careful with that turn of events at some of the voting centers.
But how do you know? I don't know whether you're the right person to be asking. How does he know if those agents are Bawumia's agents? Well, I don't know, because these agents, I don't know whether they were, they identified themselves. Okay, so then that's a moot question then. So that's why he reacted the way he did.
Yeah, that's the reason why he reacted the way he did.
Okay.
And when you listen to the audio, he mentioned Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and then the president's name because he thinks that they may be behind that sort of activities.
I see. But we just heard him say, he spoke for just 5 seconds. Were there other things he said that we didn't wasn't captured on that video that you can share with us?
Okay, so let me try to do some sort of transcription of what he did because mid-point his handler signaled us to stop filming the event. So coming from the actual voting center, what the Honorable Kennedy Agyapong was saying was that, why are they sacking my agents from the various venues? And then he mentioned, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, I will make you lose. And then he said, this is NPP, and nobody can intimidate my agents. He was mentioning those things in P. So these were the comments that were being made by the Honorable Kennedy Agyapong. And even when his handlers asked him to calm down, he was rather asking them whether they are aware of those happenings or not. And so clearly, the man is not happy with the way things maybe things are being handled elsewhere in the country so far as this voting exercise is concerned.
Obviously, thank you very much for this report. Interesting turn of events. Christy, otherwise our Central Regional Correspondent, was telling us about some very, very unfortunate developments in the Central Region where an aspirant, one of the leading contenders, the Honorable Kennedy Agyapong, is seen upset about something. He was seen to be on the phone. Whether he was talking to the Vice President or not, we can't tell. But he mentioned the Vice President and started warning the Vice President. Let's watch that video again, and we'll come back in the house.
I'm telling you, don't go position. I'm not going position. I can't make you. I'm telling you, don't go position. I'm not going position. I can't make you. I'm telling you, don't go position. I'm not going position. I can't make you. I'm telling you, don't go position. I'm not going position.
Says that he actually mentions the president's name as himself. He said, what I'll do to Akuffo and Bawumia. It's quite interesting. Anyway, so let me come back in-house. What you make of this?
But the point is the MPP is going to opposition, so I don't understand what you're saying. No, serious. I don't see why, because they are going to opposition. So I don't understand it. So are they saying that they are coming to power? No, they are going to opposition. So he's just affirming what is going to happen. So why is it a story?
I see, but
no, seriously. Let me be serious. I am saying that
you anticipated.
I didn't anticipate, but I'm saying that he's just affirming what is true. So whatever if MPP is going to opposition.
So that's interesting.
Because with the kind of economy that we have, all the issues that are there, I don't think that they are going through a democratic exercise, which has to be fulfilled. So it is not.
But to have an aspirant threatening.
It doesn't really matter. My problem is that
he's a leading contender.
Please wait. Let's be very objective here. My problem is that the agents who have been put, why are they being intimidated? Because in my party, if a candidate has an agent, they don't go in one. We have maybe 2, 3. We give him backup.
Right.
So why should agent should be intimidated? Why should I allow another candidate's agent to intimidate me? It is no story. I should stand strong for my candidate, because my candidate cannot be everywhere. When the CPP is having an election, the agents are there. I mean, we don't go as one person or two, we go in groups. So at the end of the day, you can't just come and intimidate anybody's agents. So why are the agents being intimidated? Intimidate themselves. They are coming from a position of, the word is not even coming. They are coming up from a position of like they are at the back and Bawumia is in front. Why should the agents complain that they are being intimidated? Because you fight for your candidate at the ground.
I see.
You don't even bring your candidate into the matter, because your candidate has a lot of things on their mind at that moment.
Okay.
Do you get me? So I was somewhere when you cut me.
Yeah, so you're talking about, I was saying that the NPP, the pro-Bawumia people are saying that the NPP has a final opportunity to change the narrative. That is,
but I am saying that if it is a northerner they want,
yes,
why should it be by force Bawumia?
Okay.
Bawumia has something to do. He has work. He did a lot of programs during the time that they were vying to be coming to government.
To government, right.
A lot of programs that he did a lot of economic summits, a lot of economic conferences.
Propaganda, the lies.
Yes.
Ghanaians into
and he kept telling us that we are going to make sure that no taxation, more production, one do, one left. They said very beautiful things. So now if things have gone wrong, he is the one who should move from digitalization back to economy. He told us that he has put a handcuff on the hands of the CD, and the CD is not going to run. The CD is going to be encumbered.
And he said that it is locked at the police headquarters.
Yes.
And the keys handed over to the
So now I believe that the IGP was talking about was maybe the Togo IGP, not the Ghana IGP. No, seriously, because maybe it was the Togolese IGP, because if Ghana IGP and the CD has been able to break jail like this.
It's a fugitive now.
Yes.
Well, you just heard the delegate who said, why didn't you go to him and get
Which delegate?
The guy who was talking.
He's not a delegate. Yes, so a fanatic cannot tell us that we should go to Bawumia.
Unfair when we take.
So we should take taxi when we can't.
What happened?
Please,
when they're taking the taxis,
we can't get money to eat, and we should take taxi to Bawumia and Thre to ask him why the economy is like this. He should rather come to us and tell us how the economy is like this. You see, the point is that there's also an aspect I want to talk about.
Right.
Every president, every human being can have a preference. Even when you have kids at home, there's one that you like very much. Do you get me? There's always one that is close to you, always one that you like all of them all. But there's one I remember when my father was dying. It's not that he likes him more than anybody else, but I wasn't around. I was in the US. The doctor said that he was going. Everybody thought he didn't go out till the day I came to see him. When I came back, do you guys? There's somebody that you have this affinity to. Even I don't see why Nanado is running away from the fact that he likes Bawumia. It is not evil. It is not wicked. Yeah, that is his preference. Because in the mind, and everybody knows it, that he thought that after 2007, Alan shouldn't have competed in anymore. And Alan gave him a run for his money, and he made him waste a lot of money. He thought that Alan should have waited till he has finished, like this time, for him to compete. But Alan competed him, I think, twice.
True.
Do you understand? Yeah. So we don't know what it is. So if he wants Bawumia, it is that, I don't think he should make excuses for himself that he wants somebody. Obama wanted Joe Biden. Clinton wanted Al Gore.
True.
Clinton gave Obama the opportunity. Do you get me? At the Democratic Congress for him to come and speak. They had in their mind that going into the future, who can lead? New Orleans had a preference in Atta Mills against his own wife. Today, Obama says openly that he likes Biden. But that does not mean that the system should be manipulated for the person. If ever Akuffo said that he or people say that Akuffo wanted Alan, it is not a crime. Nobody should make excuses for him. He worked with all of them, and he knew who he thinks could do it better in his mind. So if he wanted Alan, fine. But the system wasn't manipulated for anybody. Because that is why during the Congress, at the first round, Nanado won, even though he did not get the requisite 50% or more of the valid vote cast. He got a simple majority. And Alan gave in to him. That's go, because we don't have to go through a rerun and all that. So, if anybody has a preference, but do not manipulate the system for your preference.
Okay.
Do you get me? Do not manipulate the system for a preference. There is nothing also. I don't think that if I have a preference, even if you have friends, there is one that you like more than the others. But it does not mean that you should not have the same opportunities for everybody.
That's fine.
But they're also on their these super delegates.
Yeah.
We need to, before we start condemning, is it constitutional? In a political party, the first thing you look at is what I am doing. Is it in my constitution? Does the constitution give provision for this? If the constitution gives provision for it, then we also come to see how relevant and useful is this. Because when I did the calculation using even 200,000 voters, I got 0.48% of the whole population of delegates voting in the super delegates congress. So how can 0.48% choose 5 people for the whole electoral college? The issue of Ashanti. You see, when NPP treats Ashantis like gigolos, it is annoying.
The Ashantis like, sorry, before you come in, my understanding is that Ashantis worship 3 things, and I use worship.
It is
here.
not true.
I use worship here advisedly. They like the Asante Kotoko, they like the Asante Hele, and they like the NPP. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't mean that I am an Ashanti. Why am I not in NPP? I am a true blue blood Ashanti. I am not even like a commoner. I'm a royal.
So majority.
I said, why am I not MP? You see,
you belong to the minority.
The MP, so it doesn't mean that everybody. Yes, the Ashantis who are in NDC.
My grandfather was one of the founding fathers of the UP tradition, but I have never liked him.
Okay.
Because
we're talking about the region.
Because the region is also made of other. This Ashanti is the region that has in Ashanti the struggle for independence. The head of it was in Ashanti region. My father, Akuffo, Krobodusei, all they are from Ashanti. So it is very unfortunate if MPP makes the comments that half Ashantis, no matter what it is, they will vote.
The PV of Baines and Co, the PNDC,
the NDC. Yes. So what are they telling us that we don't think? That we don't buy from the market?
They've been taking you people for
that we don't know what is right and wrong.
Making no sense of this analysis that our votes in Ashanti is secure. We only need to go and fight.
I am telling you that Ashanti is made up of different. When you come, we have Zabunzongo, we have Abuabo, we have Ongong. In Ashanti, we have the Ga community. All of them, they have their chief. They swear allegiance to the Ashanti kingdom. When I was a little girl, as you see me, all my friends are from the north. I used to play in Abuabo and all those places. I used to speak Hausa very well till a point that I was speaking more Hausa than Thre, and my father stopped me.
Where's the Hausa? Is he gone?
It's gone. He made sure that he made sure my father made sure that the thing is gone. You get me? So the point is that nobody should get up and say that because we are Ashantis and because it is MP. But after all, even if it is an Ashanti candidate and so what, do an analysis of the votes of MPP. Whenever you take out the numbers of Ashanti region, they are losing. Yes, 2020, NDC won 9 regions. MPP won 7. Take out the votes of Ashanti region, they would have lost. Because it's a game of numbers. So if you have an Ashanti candidate or you are touted as an Akan party, and so what?
Really?
Because that is where you get your votes. But if you think that you want to diversify, what people like Odoi Sykes, these are people who help the party. So why don't you go for the other people? Should it be by force and not? Okay. Dankwa Dombo Buzia. There is no Akuffo who is Ashanti.
That
is what I'm Dankwa Dombo Buzia. Dankwa is
Ashanti. But Dombo's name was added only in 2004 by the then National Secretary. It used to be Dankwa Buzia. They were not even mentioned.
So Dombo is Upper East, isn't it?
Upper West.
Upper West.
Then it's a Dagasi.
As a matter of fact, Dombo was the leader of the Northern People's Party with about 16 seats.
Yes.
People didn't understand why Buzia. As a matter of fact, Buzia even lost his elections. And the chiefs wanted him. When there was this decree to not have political parties on the line of ethnicity and religion, remember there was a Muslim party. They formed the UP. Then Buzia came with only his seat. The seats he contested and even lost. So people still find it extremely difficult to comprehend why Dombo didn't become the leader, because he was the leader of about 15 or 16 seats.
So that's what they want to fix now.
Dombo, does he come from Upper West?
No.
So the point is that now you have Buzia, that is Bono Afo. Then you have Dombo, that is Upper West. Then we have Dankwa, that is Achim. Where is Ashanti one?
No, please. At that time, what they call it, Buzia was from Ashanti region.
Yeah.
He sought to say that he was an Asante.
What I am saying, Mr. Duga, please, you have these three things that you talk about. That is your representation. We call ourselves in Kroma.
No, please, even the form.
Please, I'm not talking about Akuffo. They still say it. So I'm saying that even if, okay, let's take Dombo out. If you say Danko Buzia, why is that?
No, they say there's nothing like Danko Blala. It's UP.
No, but I'm saying that where is the Ashanti factor? Why don't they talk about Danko Buzia, Dombo, Akoto?
And America said to avoid these problems, they say they are UP.
Who said that? They still make you. Are you not here today that President Nanado said we should name the University of Ghana after a Dankwa?
Who was even Dankwa was a criminal.
You see the point is that
Dankwa. If you read the Meredith, you know
I wanted to learn so that
no, if you read that, I have about 2 of it.
Yeah.
David Dankwa was actually a CIA agent, and he was on the CIA payroll. And you want us to name a university after such?
No. Let's not sidetrack. I beg you. Please learn. Otherwise, you should lose a train of thought. Yes, please go ahead.
I'm just adding.
So I am saying that.
So this whole thing about let's move on. I can't think.
You see, if you want to diversify, there's nothing wrong.
Okay.
I think there is a candidate who has been there, and your tradition is like we always go according to seniority or who is in the next league.
Okay.
Edu Buahin was there. Nanado contested Akuffo won. They made Nanado hold on. Then Akuffo came. When Alan contested Nanado and they didn't get what they had to put, and like they had to go for a rerun, Alan gave in. So if it is now the time for Alan, why do you bring somebody?
Right.
We are not saying nobody should compete him.
Okay.
But the point is that if it is the Ashanti thing, you want the Ashanti vote. When it comes to, so right now they want Ashanti region to vote for Bawumia, there's nothing wrong. But if it's truly the North now you are looking for, must it be Dr. Bawumia?
Right.
Can't it be any other Northerner who has been in the party? Dr. Bawumia has work to do.
Right.
He has to make sure that this economy stands.
Okay.
And you see the point that they all talk about breaking the age. It's as if it is personal, as if we Ghanaians, they don't care about us.
Right.
Because you see, we gave them the power. The power, the sovereignty lies into the hands of the people.
Right.
And that is all they are talking about. You want to break the age. Even Dr. Bawumia's slogan, he says it is possible.
Yeah.
So I said this is a slogan standing on its own in a very vacuumous space.
Right.
So what does it mean? They said it is possible to break the age.
Yeah.
So does it mean that everything is about breaking the age? What is so fixated on breaking the age? What is there that they want to do? We've given you what? How many years? 8 years. Now we have about 400 and something days left. What can you do within this short? Just redeem yourself within this 400 and maybe 38 days left for you to go.
Okay.
You have to redeem yourself.
Michael has been sitting there for a while now. He's not had his bite now. But before Michael, you come in, I'm told that the majority chief of it, Thre, has been reacting to the Agyapong video. But before we play you the Thre video, let's watch Agyapong's thing. And we have the full video now. So let's watch the entire video. Thre reacts. We'll come back in the house and pick Michael's thoughts. Michael, I'll be asking you whether the NDC should be, from what you said, I mean, well, I'll come to Mutala on that, but do you think the NDC should be interested in who emerges? Because I've heard something like, well, somebody will be easier to beat than somebody. Yeah, there are all these arguments that have been made. So I'll ask Michael his thoughts on that. But let's watch these videos, then I'll come back to you.
No, but I'm thinking that
yes.
President Akuffo, member will show down. Vice President, member will show down. So, Mama chasing me agents. I'm not going to set them. What do you best? What do you bet in your best you have? Yes, the President challenge President Akuffo anytime.
The street here up to tax right from the entrance. I was searched, I was thoroughly searched, and the scan was used on me. So I think they are doing their work as they should. I haven't observed anything untoward yet. Of course, we heard about some misunderstanding between the agents, which has been peacefully resolved. And so far so good. And I moved in peacefully, really what I had to do.
Okay, so you being the agent for Dr. Bawumia,
I'm not largely satisfactory. I haven't observed anything untoward. And that is good enough. The EC has conducted itself well. And I think the agents are also at the tax. They are all delivering. They are insisting on their rights and insisting on their right thing being there. So far, so good. You mark my words.
And a percentage?
We've been in. I've said that already. I said you won't go below 80%. We want to go beyond that, and that's what we are doing. I can see from my eyes, I've not slept a wink because we have a journey we have to embark upon, and that is to safeguard the image of this party and this tradition. It's so important. It's not just strategic that he should win. It's important that he wins also for the fortunes of this party and this tradition. It's going to win. Nothing will change.
and how are you whipping your...
But I won't tell you what my strategies are. What I know is that the ultimate result is what matters. At the end of the day, it's about he winning. As for the win, we know he will, but we want a certain percentage, and that is why we are not sleeping. And I hope and believe that he will emerge and we will chop that percentage of the people. Okay.
Oh, so that's the face of the, I want to believe that Northeastern agent, is that an Alan agent or Ken? Okay, so that's Alan agent, isn't it? Sir, can you, Mr. Duga, can you confirm if this is actually an Alan agent?
No,
he's with the camp, he's with the Alan camp. Yeah, so that's it. You can confirm.
Yeah.
Oh, but he's been brutally beaten, isn't it?
Well,
that's serious. I mean,
no.
I'm gonna show us the picture again.
No, I mean, if this is the elites doing this, the elites doing this,
really beating the guy.
Then I can imagine
the non-elite,
the NDCs and the CPP.
What they will do to us. So you can imagine what they will do to us.
You can imagine. Wow, but this is serious, eh? Oh, the guy doesn't, I mean, he's been totally defaced. You know, that's very serious. Whoever did this, I think the police should arrest the person, the perpetrators, and deal with them. This is unacceptable. You can't do this in today's democratic dispensation. I mean, we've gone past that. Whoever did this must be arrested. I totally condemn
There's one thing, when there's intra-party conflicts like this, you go to the police and you say, go and resolve it in the party office.
No, it doesn't.
You know, when he was given examples about brute force being used, I was reminding him of 2012 after the court had ruled that President Mahama was duly elected as the president of Ghana after the petition. Second, including Nanado, when they had their forum there, people's vehicles were vandalized. 3 years after that, a gentleman who had his children, but he picked his children from school, and he had President Mahama poster on his car. They vandalized the car. The children were traumatized, and 3 years after, he said that the children were still traumatized. I mean, clearly, so if they can do this to their fellow NPP person, this is not just an ordinary NPP. I know that man very well. This is a leading member of the party in Northeast, and by the way, that is Vice President Bawumia's home region. Now, if they can do that to their own persons, what can they do to people? We witnessed what happened in the 2020 elections, where men in uniform were used to gun down innocent people whose only crime was that they went to participate in the democratic constitutional, responsibility to cast their votes. We saw what happened at Techiman South. We saw what happened at Ablekuman. We saw what happened across the country. Ayo also was Wagon, a member of parliament. We saw what happened. What happened to those individuals? So if you want to see what the MPP would do, this is just a symptom. Now, if the elite, by his definition, clearly, if the elite who are participating in this superdelegate can do this to another so-called elite, What then happened?
No, but the point is that where was the police? What were they doing when it happened? And also, what arrangements?
If you have few police there.
No, what arrangements were put in place by the national officers?
All right.
Security and all that.
Let me go to Michael now. Michael has not spoken for almost an hour. Briefly, okay. All right, please.
I think that violence in our elections cannot be hung on one particular party.
Yeah.
You saw what happened at Thre, where the NDC MP shot at people.
Right.
How about Etiwa Kura, Etiwa Bibi Kakra? President Nanado said, Etiwa Bibi Kakra.
Etiwa, if you want to know what happened,
I'm saying that President
Nanado go to Michael because when these people they will not let us. Yes, let's go to Michael. I beg you.
Women organizer.
Yeah, no, understand. I get it.
You see, MPs don't. They are always and that one they did to us.
This minister is talking after him. I'll take Michael's perspectives and then we'll take it from there.
Then we'll close. Wait.
All right then, so that's Henry Porter, regional minister, also interacting with the media. So Michael, how much interest do you think the NDC should, or the NDC should care less? I don't know. So far, if you have any preliminary comments to make before you get to that question, I don't have a problem at all. Right.
For that matter, for one to suggest that the NDC shouldn't care about what happens in the NPP would mean that perhaps the person may not be a student of politics.
Right.
Indeed, you have a number of aspirants, though they may be coming from the same government, which we all agree have failed woefully. It is the case that each aspirant and his temperament, emotional intelligence, character, track record, and so depending on who emerges, the NDC of course should be particularly interested in that. But of course, like I keep saying, it doesn't take away the fact that, listen, the NPP as a political party and forming government has performed abysmally, and that is going to be the test of the case in 2024. We'll move for the elections. Now, a bit on the superdelegate processes. I heard the Minister for Communication, Madame Eslo, say that they have the right to determine how to run their party as a political party. But of course, how you determine or how you run your political party is governed by Article 55(5) of Ghana's Constitution. Article 55(5) of Ghana's Constitution says that, listen, in the internal organization of any political party, the political party must ensure that to a large extent you conform to democratic principles.
True.
So every political party in Ghana is injuncted by law to conform to democratic principles, Article 55(5). Now, what are democratic principles? Indeed, one cardinal principle of any democratic space or organization is participation. So the key question is this: with this procedure, Super Special Delegates Congress, how is that inuring to meaningful participation of the general members of the party or the membership base of the NPP? And when you look at participation today, it is also the case that how you manage your elections, electoral processes can actually be outcome determinative. So the processes can determine the outcome of the elections. And it is no wonder this whole process is tensed. Because listen, by virtue of this arrangement alone, when you look at those who are to vote, their proximity to power, to the corridors of power, those who are to cut, the list is there, they are in your constitution, Article 5B or so. Majority of them are close to the corridors of power. And one can conclude or infer that the likelihood that they may be going for the establishment's choice is high. And so this already from onset raises some suspicion. And so various camps who may not be the establishment's preference would always be on the alert. And so all that is happening today is because the process in itself doesn't appear to be fair. But you see, I keep telling my trainees that anytime you want to know the identity of a political party.
Okay, so anytime you want to know the identity of a political party, please hold it right there. The Attorney General is talking just for a few minutes. The Attorney General Godfrey Dame is addressing the press. Let's listen to him. You'll come back to identity of a political party. Let's do this quickly.
Deciding Article 21 of the Constitution, the person has the right to demonstrate on any issue at all. It does not mean that the matter on which the person is demonstrating is correct. It doesn't mean that the perspective of that person is also correct. And I believe that at the end of the day, the whole nation will see the good works that the government has done. And I'm very confident that indeed, in terms of every sphere of the nation's life, economically, politically, even legally, and all, this nation cannot be in a better pair of hands than the leader chosen by the MP.
And the concerns by the minority are justified.
Well, I'm not prepared to go into that at all. I'm really concerned about the progress or the process that we'll be embarking on today. And I've indicated to you that at the end of today, I'm very sure that we will elect a candidate who will effectively lead the MPP to ensure that the efforts of people who want to effectively ensure restoration, discipline, corruption.
So let's go to is currently moving. Right, so that's the Attorney General Godfrey Dame. He says he's not going to stick his neck and tell who he supports, who he doesn't. But for him, he's more interested in the process and how it's panned out so far. Michael, you're talking to me as about if you want to know the identity of a political party, what do you look out for?
So there are three basic things to look out for. One, you go to the constitution of the party.
Right.
Two, what the party says they stand for, who they are. And then three, what the party does in practice.
Okay.
These three key things. Now, today, the NPP has institutionalized this in their constitution. That, listen, we do not believe in... I mean, this is what is happening. So, like he mentioned, the elites are choosing the candidate today.
Okay.
And then the candidate will be subject to the, is it November 4th?
Yes, November 4th.
Which will be opened up for. But the tendency is high that everybody is going to be swayed, be moved by happenings of today, the results of today. And in other words, we want to carry the mind of the elite to the base, for the base to endorse the mind of the elite. Clearly, one will come to the conclusion that perhaps this may be a party that still is having issues with mass participation.
Right.
Just as Mr. Dugan, for instance, hinted right from history. And for them to now put it in the constitution, politics of exclusion. Because I've been reflecting on the pros and cons. Indeed, there are rather increasing costs of running this internal election.
Okay.
Because you have a first leg, you're going to have a second leg.
Right.
What is really the basis for this arrangement?
But democracy
if not for
democracy is
the
expensive.
establishment?
The democracy is expensive. If you want it well, it's going to come at a cost.
That statement, democracy is expensive. That statement.
There's a difference between wasting resources.
But then there is, I mean, clearly,
okay.
And we try to hide behind such statements. Democracy is expensive, and for that matter, it doesn't matter.
We shouldn't be reckless.
We have a first leg, we spend huge resources, we go for a second leg, and mind you, all those voting today will be voting the second leg.
True.
And so the question is, what really is the advantage? What are we seeking? If not for the establishment to project their candidate, send a cue to the base, so the base know that, listen, this is what the elites are saying. This is what our political party is saying. And we have to follow course. And so, the likes of...
Delegates, but you see, sorry, Michael, and we need to sometimes clarify a few things. This structure, as we see it, has existed, it's existed even in 2014. So, I mean, if you make it seem as if it's been created purposely to quote and unquote, give somebody an advantage over the other, you may not be factually.
Are you saying that since 2014?
Yes.
Are you saying that since 2014, the reasons I'm outlining here may not have been the reasons for creating the system? in 2014.
Okay, so your point is that it cuts across.
Precisely.
Okay, I get it.
It's for the establishment at a given time to let the base know this is our preference.
That's fine.
We are sending a cue. And for me, when you look at even how the party is governing today, and this is where I'm sure